It's still affordable to fans. It's on the main campus. So as an expansion project, well, we have this big solution. We have no problem, but let's get the media to enable it. And through oversimplification and just a kind of a herd mentality, they've all kind of tried to rush it forward, leaving the details, for people like me or you to try to study up on and try to find out what's really going on at the U of O Foundation.
Zach, with what you're saying on this program, it's community TV, but what you're saying here, which I doubt that you've had the opportunity to express on other TV or radio stations, and except for an occasional letter to the editor, not in the Guard. And the mass media, it seems to me, have the responsibility of doing the very thing that you are doing now. They are not to take issue with everything that comes up and say, don't spend this, don't spend that. They are to give us the information, and they are also to use their expertise and insight to tell us when something is going contrary to the rules. And I don't see the Register Guard of Eugene, the Eugene Weekly, although it attempts to do it much more so than the Register Guard, and don't count on TV. I don't know if TV even has the privilege, commercial TV, of being called news media. But we're not getting it from them. We're hearing it from you and very few others. Question for you, in terms of spending, if they're going to build a replacement for McCord, which it seems it's well underway, cost of it looks like it's going to go well over the early $250 million. It is now projected at something like 327. And to me, all of a sudden, I'm saying, that's 1/3 of $1 billion for a new basketball arena at the University of Oregon. In this economic market, not market, but the economic catastrophe that we're facing in this country, can you view this as a reasonable chance for the university or any other public institution to take?
Well, it's really a gamble. And Nike's lucky because they get U of O to take the risk while they sit on the sidelines. So, I'm not an economist for sure, but the risks the university is really taking off with, in my view, we could be here 4 or 5 years from now with the new McCord boarded up, unable to meet projected financing, and the big donor can come back and maybe buy it at a fire sale. So my point is that bad news for U of O is good news for Nike because they have endless amounts of money. And a crisis, they can come in like the knight in shining armor.
There are projections that have already been made. The Register Guard, in an article a week before we videotaped this program, that quoted people at the university as indicating that they don't expect to break even on this new facility for some years, perhaps for a long time. And in the context of what's going on economically in this state and around the country, that is a scary element. Now, by the way, there is a baseball facility. There's an athletics director named Kilkenny who has gone off the deep end in terms of spending. I think he's been doing what he was asked to do when he came in, but now he's going to spend I don't know if I said 150, but $15 million on a baseball stadium, which we've never had, and trying to get the M's to move out of Civic Stadium, which we'd like to retain in the city, to play baseball at the University of Oregon. Now I understand there's a new indoor track facility in the works?
Yeah, it's been in the pipeline for a while. A state-of-the-art indoor track would be located somewhere near Hayward Field. This has been in the Emerald and in the Register Guard. It's talked about pretty quietly because there's this incremental approach where they know they're kind of out of control with sports spending, and so they keep some debates quiet while they get the current monstrosity debate through. But a new indoor track raises a lot of questions. Where will it be sited? Will McCord be torn down for space for it? Will eminent domain be exercised along 19th and Agate for more land? Will the old Condon School or Agate Hall be torn down, which could merit a historic designation? The McCord issue, it's well loved, and the Ems issue with Civic Stadium are very much parallel issues, because these are both wonderful facilities that if we came together as a community, we could raise money for and do adaptive reuse.
Adaptive reuse, which would have very practical applications, not because we're sentimentally attached to these facilities, but they have very pragmatic, good reasons for being retained, rather than the spending of millions by the Department of Athletics at the university for things that are so much more expensive. By the way, they're going to need space if they go for this indoor track, which is far more appropriate in my view than baseball, because track at the University of Oregon is the most significant sport that we have had. Why don't they tear down the Knight Center for Law across the street from Hayward Field and put it there?
Well, you're not far off. The street I grew up on...
I'm not serious.
Yeah.
Though.
The street I grew up on is Moss Street, and they're quickly taking the homes out of that area. So I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to fit it in that neighborhood.
Well, who knows? Certainly they're not going to take down the Knight Law Center across the street from Hayward. It's only a few years old, but it's ironic that it even suggested, because it is a product of the generosity of Phil Knight and at the same time the imposition of Knight will on this university campus. I'm George Barris, your host for the program To Pursue the Truth. We thank Zach for being with us, Zach Vishanoff, for giving us great insights tonight. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Sports.
There with bad kids, but we can